Something landed this week that I wanted to take a moment to talk about on the podcast. Twix. Yes, the chocolate bar brand Twix just launched a brand new out-of-home campaign in the UK, and it's brilliant. The concept is simple. They took one half of iconic duos and put them on posters. Rick without Morty, Wallace without Gromit, Laurel without Hardy. No taglines needed. Your brain does the work instantly. Now, of course, all those characters had to be licensed. The campaign couldn't have existed without securing the rights to those IP. I know this because the team at Born Licensing managed the licensing from start to finish. The campaign perfectly illustrates something I've believed for a long time, and that the data keeps proving. Famous characters are one of the most powerful tools in advertising. So today, that's what I want to dig into: the why, the how, and the proof. I'm David Bourne, and this is Born to License. When a brand creates its own character from scratch, think the Compare the Market Meerkats or the Geico Gecko, they have to build awareness from zero. It takes time and it takes money, and it takes a lot of both of those things. When you license a famous character, you're borrowing decades of awareness. You're tapping into something that already lives in the audience's memory. The recognition happens in a split second. Think about what Asda did in 2022. They licensed Buddy the Elf, a character from a 2003 Will Ferrell movie, for their Christmas campaign. Elf had never been licensed for brand marketing before. Again, the Born Licensing team were the ones to make that first happen. The result was incredible. System 1 named it the nation's favorite ad of 2022. That's right, not only did it win Christmas, but it was the #1 ad of that year, the whole year. It achieved a perfect 5.9 stars on their prediction model for long-term market share growth. The fluency rating, which measures how strongly people connect the ad to the brand, was 100, and it sat in the top 3% of all UK ads ever tested by Kantar for making people smile. Why? Because the moment Buddy appeared, people felt something. They felt warmth, they felt joy, they felt nostalgia. It was already there, fully foamed, loaded, and ready to fire. Now, the second reason characters are so powerful is fandom. When a brand uses a famous character, the fans of that character become unpaid advocates for the campaign. The clearest example I have of this is the MoneySuperMarket He-Man and Skeletor campaign. Mother London approached the Born Licensing team wanting to mash up Masters of the Universe characters with an iconic Hollywood dancing moment. That moment, of course, was Dirty Dancing. The campaign premiered in front of over 6 million viewers during the X Factor. Within days, it had 27 million views, and MoneySuperMarket's Twitter mentions went from 100 a day to 35,000 an hour. Now, I have to repeat that just in case you didn't catch it. The advertisers' mentions on Twitter went from 100 a day to 35,000 an hour. It went viral because Masters of the Universe fans, Dirty Dancing fans, and everyone who just thought it was really funny all went and talked about it. The campaign did 6% revenue uplift for MoneySuperMarket, was voted the #7 ad of the year by Campaign magazine, and won Best Licensed Promotion at the Lima Awards. And people still bring it up to me almost a decade later. So that is the definition of cultural staying power. Here's the thing though, not every character works for every brand. The magic happens when there's a genuine fit between the character's world and the brand's message. Look at Direct Line. They had Harvey Keitel as Winston Wolfe for Pulp Fiction running for 6 years. It worked brilliantly. Wolfe was the ultimate fixer, someone you can call when things go wrong. When Direct Line needed a refresh, their agency Saatchi & Saatchi came to us and asked us to find new characters who embodied the same idea of speed, efficiency, and problem solving as Direct Line themselves. The Born Licensing team presented over 150 characters. Slowly but surely, the list whittled its way down, and they landed on 3 incredible characters: Bumblebee from Transformers, RoboCop, and Donatello from the Ninja Turtles. The campaign was 20% more effective at driving quotes and sales than their previous campaign, which was a lot because their previous campaign was enormously successful. Advertising recognition of 53% against the Kantar norm of 33%, and it won the Grand Prix at Marketing Week Masters, a brilliant result by any measure. Or we could also take a look at PGA Tour Superstore and Happy Gilmore's coach, Chubbs Peterson. Their creative agency said it perfectly. There's an entire generation of golfers for whom Chubbs was the first golf pro they ever encountered. The brand's new tagline was Golf's Happy Place, and Chubbs is literally the character who tells Happy Gilmore to find his happy place. The fit was so clean that the campaign won Best Advertising Campaign featuring a licensed brand at the 2024 Licensing International Excellence Awards. And then there's Sainsbury's and the BFG. They've partnered with that character for 2 years running now. Their first campaign for Christmas 2024 brought the first Sainsbury's ad ever to score a maximum of 5.9 stars on System 1. Kantar named them the winner of Christmas 2024. Sales were up 3.5% and the highest market share since December 2019. Incredible results. In 2025, they came back with the BFG again, introduced the Greedy Giant, scored 5.9 stars again, and System 1 has a specific term for when a character becomes so associated with a brand that it generates compounding returns. They call it fluent devices. The BFG is now a fluent device for Sainsbury's at Christmas. That's what happens when the character fit is right and you have the discipline to stick with it. So, what are the takeaways here? First, the awareness is already built. When you license a famous character, you're not starting from zero on emotional connection. You're borrowing something the audience already loves. Second, fandom creates amplification. The right character brings its own community, people who will share, talk about it, and remember the campaign because they care about the character, not just your brand. Third, fit matters more than fame. The BFG isn't necessarily a Christmas character. Chubbs Peterson isn't necessarily a household name, but both worked because the fit between the character's world and the brand story was right. Don't just chase the biggest IP, chase the right IP for your campaign. And finally, going back to Twix, look at what they did this week. They didn't just license characters, they built their entire campaign concept around the power of the duo. The characters weren't decoration, they were the idea. And when you get licensing right, it's not a bolt-on, it's the creative engine. So that's it for today's episode. If this is something you're thinking about for your brand or a client, reach out to the Born Licensing team at contact@bornlicensing.com. If you want to contact the podcast, you can do so by emailing hello@borntolicense.com. As always, you can catch me on Instagram, LinkedIn, I'm on Substack now, and now I also have my own website where I share my thoughts on the licensing world. Check that out at thedavidbourne.com. If you found this useful, please subscribe and recommend the show to a friend or colleague. I'd really appreciate it. I'm David Bourne, and this is Born to License.